This is the story of a boy named Joey, who was being fed by his mom. Joey had a fake leg, and his eyes were covered with a bandage. While they were eating, his mom told him something very important. No matter what happens, Joey should never remove the bandage from her eyes. As they were talking, Joey's dad came home and he was really angry. He thought they had gone outside today and tried to run away from the house. In his rage, he started beating Joey's mom. Joey couldn't bear to see this. He wanted to save his mom, so he did the one thing he was told not to. He removed the bandage from her eyes, even though his mom was desperately telling him to stop. Suddenly, something strange happened. Joey's dad stormed out of the house, and right in the middle of the road, he twisted his neck and died. Just like trying to do a cartwheel for the first time, it all went wrong very quickly. Seeing this, Joey's mom lost her mind. She hugged Joey tightly, but slowly she started to strangle him. Joey, trying to save himself, looked directly into his mom's eyes. In the next moment, we see Joey and his mom standing by the riverbank. When they arrived at the riverbank, Joey's mom snapped back to her senses. She started crying, begging for her son's life, and that's when we learn the shocking truth. Joey had special powers. With just a look, he could control anyone and make them do whatever he wanted. This was why his mom never let him remove the bandage from his eyes. Many years passed, and Joey had grown up. His powers had become much stronger than when he was a child. He kept his distance from people because he didn't want anyone to discover his abilities. But Joey wasn't always good with his powers. He used them to control people and easily steal money to get whatever he wanted. Though Joey didn't have a place of his own, he used his abilities to control the staff of a luxury hotel, where he would live like a king without anyone knowing. Just like pretending to know how to play chess, he moved all the pieces without anyone catching on. Now the scene changes and we meet a new character in the story. His name is Incuban. He works at a recycling point and has two good friends. Life was going pretty well for him. One day, after having a great time with his friends, they dropped him off at his house. But as Incuban was walking home, he wasn't paying attention to the road. Suddenly, a truck came speeding toward him and crushed him. It was a terrible accident, but Incuban somehow survived, though he was seriously injured. Surprisingly, the doctors weren't too worried because Incuban was recovering much faster than they expected. This was the first time something like this had happened in his life. Just like how a phone battery charges faster when you're not looking at it, Incuban healed quickly when no one expected it. After recovering in just 2 to 4 days, Incuban returned to his job, but when he got there, he found out that his job was gone. Hearing this news broke his heart, but Incuban wasn't someone who would give up easily. He started looking for a new job and soon, he found one in a small store where he was responsible for organizing and keeping things in place. The shop owner told him a strange story. Every day, the shop would get robbed, but no thief was ever seen on the CCTV cameras. Incuban's job was simple. He just had to guard the shop. The next day, Incuban met a girl named Young, who happened to be the shop owner's daughter. They started talking and quickly got along very well. Several days passed, and everything seemed fine. Then one day, Incuban's friend came to the shop to meet him. Incuban was really happy to see him. As they were talking, catching up with each other, out of nowhere Joey appeared. When Joey showed up, everything changed. He had powers, and by now they had grown very strong. Joey immediately hypnotized the shop owner and ordered him to open the locker. The shop owner, without question, took out all the money and began handing it over to Joey. Meanwhile, Incuban suddenly felt something strange. He couldn't move his body. It was as if he had lost control of himself. With great effort, Incuban managed to regain control over his mind and body. He moved his body, turned around, and saw Joey standing there. Just like when you're stuck in bed after hearing a weird noise at 3 a.m., Incuban couldn't move, but he forced himself to turn around and face the danger. For the first time, Joey was surprised to see a human being break free from his control. Now his theft was about to be caught. To stop Incuba, he hypnotized Incuba's friends and made them catch him. Then, Joey commanded Yang to pick up a knife and stab Incuba in the stomach. But remember, Incuba had superpowers that allowed him to heal quickly. So, even though he was stabbed, it didn't affect him much. He got up again and tried to catch Joey. But before he could succeed, Joey commanded the shop owner to shock Incuba, allowing Joey to escape. After this intense incident, the next scene takes us to a hospital. There we learn that because of his superpowers, Incuba survived. But sadly, the shop owner died during the whole ordeal. Meanwhile, Joey was still in shock, wondering how a human could escape from his powers. Just like when you can't believe your phone actually fell face down but the screen didn't crack, Joey was baffled by Incuba's escape. On top of this, Joey realized his powers had led to a big problem. He had accidentally killed someone, and now he had to cover up the murder. So, under the cover of night, Joey went back to the shop to steal the CCTV footage, the same footage Incuba and his friends had been trying to get earlier. Why? Because Incuba was the first person who knew the truth about Joey, and to expose him, Incuba needed that footage. This time, however, Joey didn't come alone. He brought several people under his control to help him. Joey informed Incuba's friends about what was happening, and they both knew how dangerous Joey was. He could make any person attack them with just a thought. Out of fear, Incuba's friends ran away. Just like when you realize the spider in your room is way too big to handle, they bolted out of there. But Incuba didn't run. He stayed behind, hiding in the shop. And while everyone was distracted, Incuba managed to steal the CCTV footage, the key to exposing Joey's dark powers. Now, Joey knew that Incuba was nearby, thanks to his powers. So Joey started attacking him, trying to get the CCTV footage back. But Incuba managed to escape and jumped into his van. When he looked around, he saw that Joey was now alone. He wasn't even trying to attack anymore or put up a fight. It didn't take long for Incuba to realize that Joey needed other people to launch his attacks. Just like needing Wi-Fi to actually do anything on your phone, Joey needed others to help him fight. Taking advantage of the situation, Incuba began following Joey to catch him. Joey eventually stopped at a deserted place, and Incuba stopped his van right behind him. But as soon as Incuba got out of the car, many people suddenly attacked him. Joey had chosen this spot on purpose because he had seen a group of people in the distance and quickly brought them under his control to attack Incuba. Before these people could do any serious harm, Incuba pulled out his electric gun and zapped Joey. The shock distracted Joey, breaking his control over everyone. Just like unplugging the router during a bad game, it shut down all the chaos at once. As soon as the people were free from Joey's influence, Incuba threw a cloth over Joey's face so he couldn't control anyone anymore. Then Incuba brought Joey straight to the police station. He explained everything to the police about how Joey had the ability to control people with his superpowers, steal from them, and even commit murder. It was a wild story, and the police found it hard to believe. They thought Joey might just be a crazy person or maybe drunk. But despite their doubts, the police decided to take Incuba seriously. One of the officers was about to open the cloth covering Joey's face. Just like pulling off a band-aid when you're not sure what's underneath, everyone held their breath to see what would happen next. Police officer who was about to remove Joey's mask. Inco Bon shouted from behind, "No, don't remove it." But the officers didn't listen and took off the mask anyway. The moment they did, Joey took control of all the police officers with his powers. He commanded the officers to attack Inco Bon's sister. Somehow, she managed to escape and ran out of the police station. Joey realized that Inco Bon was becoming a threat to him, so he decided to follow him and eliminate him. Inco Bon had already reached a railway station by now. Joey, using his powers, controlled all the people standing at the station. But even after that, he couldn't spot Inco Bon. To lure him out, Joey gave a dangerous command to a woman. He told her to throw her baby in front of the approaching train. Just like when you can't find your phone and ask everyone to stop moving because it's somewhere here. As Joey expected, Inco Bon jumped in to save the baby. He successfully rescued the child, but in the process, he got severely injured. Joey thought Inco Bon would die from his injuries. But what he didn't know was that Inco Bon had superpowers that allowed him to heal quickly. After all of this, Joey released everyone from his control and left quietly. When he returned to his fancy hotel, he found that many police officers were investigating his room. The moment they entered, Joey took control of them and forced them out. The scene shifts to Inco Bon, who is now fully recovered and sitting in his friend's garage. He tells his friend how Joey endangered a child's life just to catch him. His friend believes him and decides that they need to stop Joey together. Meanwhile, the police had also started to suspect Joey. They went to investigate his mom's house. Joey found out about it and reached there before them. He killed all the police officers. Now, even his mother seemed like a threat to him. He thought about killing her too, but when he pointed his gun at her, the tears in her eyes stopped him. As he was leaving, he left some money for his mom, money he had stolen just a while ago. Just like when you feel guilty after sneaking money from your sibling's wallet and leave a sorry note. Later, we learn that Inkoban's friend had designed a special van with flashing lights on the back. These lights were powerful enough to temporarily blind Joey and free people from his control. With this plan in mind, they set off to find Joey. As they searched for Joey, Inkoban dozed off in the car. Suddenly, he woke up to a jolt, and he saw one of his friends attacking the driver. It didn't take long for him to realize that this was Joey's doing. Joey had controlled his friends from a distance and was watching them closely. Inkoban quickly got out of the car and started chasing Joey, who had entered a building nearby. Once inside, Inkoban saw that Joey had already taken control of many people in the building. The chase for Joey was far from over. Now, Joey started controlling everyone and began talking to them in their own voices. He said to Inkoban, "Look, ever since you arrived, everything has gone haywire. Earlier, I used to quietly steal and leave. No one's life was in danger. But after you showed up, everything got messy. I even ended up committing murders. And all this chaos is your fault." After saying this, Joey started throwing people off the roof one by one. Inkoban wanted to save them but couldn't do anything. Left with no Jois, he escaped. Joey followed him outside, where Inkoban's two friends tried to attack Joey with their guns. But it didn't help much. Joey took control of them too and stopped them. Just like a cat thinking it can catch a laser pointer, Inkoban's friends thought they could stop Joey. But nope, not happening. Then Joey disappeared with Inkoban's friends. Frustrated, Inkoban searched for them like a madman, but his hours of searching were in vain. Exhausted, he returned to his shop, only to find his friends hanging from the ceiling. He immediately knew this was Joey's doing. Before Inkoban could react, Joey trapped him as well and hung him from the ceiling too. Leaving all three of them for dead, Joey walked away. Fortunately, Inkoban spotted a knife nearby, managed to cut the rope and saved himself. But sadly, he couldn't save his friends. Heartbroken, he decided to stop Joey before he caused more harm. When he stepped outside, he saw Joey asking for a lift in Young's car. Realizing Young's life was in danger, Inkoban started chasing them. During the chase, Joey used his powers to control other drivers, forcing them to hit the brakes simultaneously, causing a massive pileup. His goal: to have Inkoban killed in the crash. Just like when you try to save your coffee from spilling but end up spilling it even worse, Joey's plan seemed overcomplicated but effective. Before the crash, Inkoban saw the souls of his friends inside his car. They showed him a special button. Pressing it, the car rocketed out of danger just in time. Joey, meanwhile, took Young to a tall building, intending to push him off and ensure no one remained to report his crimes. Inkoban reached the building just in time and climbed up. He saw Joey preparing to harm Young, so he attacked Joey furiously. In the middle of the fight, Inkoban noticed Young standing on the edge of the building, her life in danger. As Inkoban moved forward to save Young, Joey shot him from behind. Furious, Joey unleashed all his anger on Inkoban and started beating him up. At that moment, Inkoban also got angry and began saying terrible things about Joey's dad. This distracted Joey, and Young managed to break free from his control. She climbed down from the railing and escaped, saving her life. Just like when your Wi-Fi disconnects at the most dramatic part of a movie, Joey completely lost focus thanks to Inkoban's taunts. Taking advantage of this moment, Inkoban grabbed Joey and jumped off the building with him. The fall killed Joey, but thanks to Inkoban's quick healing superpowers, he miraculously survived. The scene then cuts to some time later. Although alive, Inkoban was now paralyzed and sitting at a railway station. There, he met Young again and found out that she had become an air hostess. As they talked, they noticed a child wandering dangerously close to the train tracks. The child was about to fall when a train came speeding by. Everyone froze in fear, closing their eyes, unable to watch what might happen. But when they opened their eyes, they saw that Inkoban had saved the child just in time. Just like a superhero who shows up late but saves the day anyway, Inkoban proved that his timing might not be perfect, but his heart certainly was. Seeing this, Young was happy, and the story ended with a heartwarming moment of relief and joy.